Now you've modeled your avatar in Blender, imported it into Unity, put the right settings after the import in Unity. Now what's next? Well, drag your avatar into the hierarchy. Head over to the inspector, add a component named VRC Avatar Descriptor. Now we'll go top to bottom. First of all, the view. The view position is very important because this is where your eyes will be in game. Simply hit edit. Now look at your avatar and place the ball, the white ball, in between where your eyes are. In my case, it's the two black circles, so I put the ball in between. Hit return once you're done. Next up is lip sync. If your avatar was set up properly, simply hit auto detect and the thing will basically do everything for you. Otherwise, just manually select whichever one it is and fill out the rest. Next up is eye look. Simply hit enable and the big menu will pop up. While this may look complicated, it really isn't. All you need to do is select your eye bones. In my case, I know it is eye left and eye right, so I can just search for them. Otherwise, you can also just find them in the hierarchy and drag and drop them in there. Like, for example, if my leg was my eye bone, you get the idea. Next up, what you want to do is set up the rotations. So, for example, on looking up, if I hit preview here, I can now rotate the eyes. I know it's kind of useless because they're black balls, but looking up would turn them up. Looking down would turn them down. Looking left, well, now we want to make sure our avatar looks left, so we turn it that way. And looking right, we do the exact opposite. What you could do as well is you just basically negate the numbers and then you have it more symmetrical than I do, but for our purposes this will be enough. Next up is eyelids. Eyelid type, well, either you have bones or blend shapes. Usually it will be blend shapes. What you want to do is you want to grab your mesh that has your head on it. So in my case, it's body, drag it in here and select the blend shapes that are called blink, looking up and looking down, or whatever the equivalent for that on your avatar is. In my case, I don't have that because my guy doesn't have any eyelids that he could blink with. Then we come back up to general, because I forgot to explain it earlier. It's basically how much your eyes move. Calm, excited, shy, confident. It just changes how the eyes move in game. Just play around with it a little bit and you'll understand immediately what it means. Next up is playable layers. This is probably one of the most important parts of this entire component. This is where your animations will live. First and foremost, FX layer. This is where all your toggles are, like any clothing pieces or realistically anything is going to end up in the FX layer. So just simply click on default, non-transform, and then drag and drop your FX layer in there. If you don't have one yet, that's not an issue. Just right click, create animator controller, and you can name it. So for example, I now named it ManiFX1 because this avatar is called Mani. I just simply drag and drop it in there, and now it has an FX layer. In order to open the FX layer, just double click on it, and then it will open right here. I will cover this in another video. Furthermore, in here you have base, additive, gesture, action, sitting, T-pose, IK pose. Those are all somewhat niche use cases. The only really obvious one is either custom idle animations, like when your Avi stands or goes AFK, or when you set up Go Loco. It is another very important part if you do it manually. I would advise you to use the VRC Fury version though, because it's just less of a hassle and works just as well in most cases. Next up, we have lower body. Use auto footstep for 3 and 4 point tracking, force locomotion animation for 6 point tracking. This is basically just which animations it uses depending on how many controllers or trackers you have connected while you're in VR. I usually leave them on default. You could turn them off, you could leave them on. It doesn't really change all too much in most cases. Next up, the expressions. This is important because this is how you as the player control the animations that live in the FX layer. What you want to do is you want to right click, you want to create, you want to go to VRChat avatar, and then you have parameters and menu. You want to create one of each of those. I already have them in another folder because I'm organized like that. and you just want to pull the menu and the parameters in there. Again, I will cover this in another video. Next up, there is the colliders and rig type section. 99% of the time you won't need them, and if you do, I will probably either cover it in another video, or you can just Google it. It's not that hard to figure out what it is, but we'll skip over it for this video to keep it kinda short. Next up is the pipeline manager script. The only important part of this is the blueprint ID. When you upload your avatar, it will basically get the blueprint ID as the unique identifier that identifies this avatar to VRChat, so it knows what assets to load when you change into the avatar. I point this out specifically because there is an error if you upload somebody else's avatar, like a Unity package you bought off someone, and they didn't remove this blueprint ID. Sometimes it breaks and then says invalid blueprint ID. This is where you would clear it. This attach button then changes to detach. You just hit that and re-upload, and then it should work fine. And with that, our avatar is pretty much ready to be uploaded, at least the most basic functionality.